In this video, you're going to learn how to slay Riff by Mighty Riff, Gardenia by KYUSS. What's going on? My name's Jered, and thank you so much for checking out this channel. I'm super excited to get into this one. This is such a killer song with so many great bass lines in here. We're going to break this thing down into 5 main riffs. The first riff is the iconic kind of intro riff. They use it during the verse. Next riff is going to be the chorus riff. After that, we have the pre-solo and then solo riffs. Then we're going to finish things off with that super heavy and still full of groove end and outro bass line. For the tone in this one, I'll be using an Obsidian Fuzztortion by Foul Sounds. This pedal captures the classic Ampeg SVT sound, just cranked. Thank you so much for checking out this channel. It really means a lot. If you like the lesson, you can subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. And if you do want to support the channel, there's a link down below where you can score the baddest shirt on the planet. This song is tuned to C standard, so grab your axe, tune down a couple steps, and let's do this. So the main riff features a hammer-on from 5 to 7 on the A string. It's going to have a bend on that 7th fret A string. And we're also going to have a bunch of low E's ringing out, really thickens up the bass line. Here it is nice and slow. Starts with that hammer-on from 5 to 7, hits the open E. Then we do the bend on the 7, hit the open E again. So it's kind of in between everything, we're hitting that open E. Getting up to speed and still staying in the pocket can be a little tricky. Just work it up nice and slow, but at that same feel, and really, dig in as if you were playing fast. So every 4th or so time we play this main idea, we're going to throw in a little sweetness, a little fill, to lead us into the kind of riff number 2. Here's that first fill. So we're going to slide into the 9th fret here on the G string, kind of work our way down that pentatonic scale. From here, we're going to have a position shift. 3rd finger is going to land on that 7th fret, so we can get a nice bend in there. Here it is one more time. So here's that main riff leading into the fill. Riff number 2 starts out with a slide from the 7th fret to 8th fret on the E string. Next measure starts with another slide from 7 to 8. Then we're going to slide from 8 to 10. Here's those 2 measures played together. From there we go into a part that's similar to the main riff. This repeats the same 2 measures. Here it is, nice and slow. From there, we're going to switch it up slightly. Here's the next measure. Starts with a hammer-on, 5 to 7. So the first half of the measure, hammer-on from 5 to 7. Then we're going to do a little syncopated rhythm on the open E string. Next, we're going to hit the high octave on the 9th fret, come back down to the open E, and some 5/7 action on the middle 2 strings. Here's a full measure again. Here's the last measure of riff number 2. Ends with that fill. Awesome. From there we go back into riff number 1. For riff number 3, it's going to be mostly open E strings, really syncopated the rhythm, really locking in with the drums. Here's the first measure. It sounds like he's doing groups of 3s with rests in between. So the first kind of rhythmic idea is this. From there, we're going to do groups of 3 with rests in between. Next measure is really cool, especially with your amp just cranked. We're going to be starting out with the open E, just riding it the whole time. And from there, we're kind of going to do like the harmonic. So we're just kind of lightly set, not even press your finger, just kind of lightly set it on the string. And just work your way down. Ends with a slide, and we're back into that original open E syncopation. Here's the 2 measures put together. This is what playing bass is all about right here. This sync in, lock in with the drums. And I mean, you just get to really pummel this E string and it still grooves. Really killer line. From there, we go into that guitar solo. So during the guitar solo, we go into this killer groove. So most of the action in riff number 4 is happening on the 5 and 7 on the A and D strings. We're going to throw in a few open low E's as well. One more time. So the line starts out, hammer on, 5 to 7. And then we have this short rest. This is crucial to really getting the feel of this line. That next part is like a hammer on pull off, 5/7 on the D. Next part. Rocking that pentatonic. This line is all about the feel and the groove of this part. The next main phrase goes like this. Kind of plays on that first idea. Starts out the same with that rest. Then instead of that hammer on, pull off, we're going to ride the root here on the 7th fret. Next part of the phrase goes like this. Starts hammer-on 5/7. Finishes with a pair of hammer-ons up here on the D string. Here's the first two lines put together. So those are the two main phrases of the solo. Leaves a lot of room for improv and just to kind of go with whatever you're feeling. So, you know, jamming along with the song, you know, get these down, nail these, you know, first two main ideas, and then just see what happens from there. And during this solo section, there's a bunch of sweet bass fills that are going on here. Here's the first one. Kind of calls back to the fill in that, you know, the main riff. I'll play it slow so you can kind of catch the feel. So let's check out one more of those fills. Let's actually do the one that comes after it. So here it is, played nice and slow. Just killer when he slides up to this 12th fret here. And let's not forget about that beginning. Just I mean, that's how you do it right there. That first measure of riff number 5, going to be going from open E to 5th fret A string, 7th fret A string, kind of hanging out in that area. So what really helped me out on this one was focusing on the right hand. So start out with the first finger, the 1, 2, then we go first finger to the. From there, we just kind of do like a rake, almost like a sweep pick. From there, we're going to go back to the 7th fret on the A string, hit that with our second finger, and come back to the open E with our second finger as well. So those two put together. So the overall concept is whichever finger you end up picking the note on the A string, use that one to come back and rake and hit that open E as well. Because this thing is moving and we really want to have control over everything that's going on in order to stay on the beat and to really lock in and keep the groove, because this is super heavy. So the first measure ends with this 7-5-7 on the E and A strings. Next measure ends with the 7-5-7 on the A and D strings. So the next part of the riff, we keep up that same syncopation, and we, instead of going from the 5th fret on the A string, we're going to go 5th fret on the D string. So here's that first measure. Ends with that. Next measure. So we're hitting the 7-5-7 thing in the middle two strings, just like before. So here's the next measure. So the riff starts out 5-7 on the middle two strings. Then it comes back to 5/7 on the A string. The phrase finishes off when we shift down 3rd and 5th fret kind of position here. Keeps that same syncopation. So it sounds like he's going 3rd fret E string, 5th fret A string. Then we finish it off all on the E string. The riff goes back and forth between the 5/7 on the A and the 5/7 on the middle 2. So he does throw in a few different fills and different rhythms here and there, but you can check that out in the tab. From here, we're going to skip ahead a little bit. We're going to go to that last kind of alteration of this final riff. So we're going to stick with that same kind of driving syncopation, but instead of going the 5/7, we're just going to stick right on the 7 here. Here's the first measure, nice and slow. So it starts with a group of 4, all open. Kind of sets the tone. Next group of 4 is going to be 7 on the A, open E, 2 7s, back to E. Here's those 2 groups of 4. Next group of 4 is open, 7, open, open. Here's those 3. So the last group is going to be 5 on the A, 7 on the E. Then we're going to come up to the D, hit the 5th fret here too. Kind of hit here. You can throw a little bend on there too. So here it is a couple times. I could play this one all day. This is so cool. So we stick with that same idea, kind of chugging. Then we're going to throw in a fill just to sweeten things up a little bit. We go. Then we go right back into that chug. We're going to have the 7th fret here again. And we're going to sprinkle in some of these high octaves on the 9th fret. Then we're going to ride this 9th octave almost the whole measure. You might be doing one of these grace note kind of things. This throw it in there. It can't hurt. Sounds awesome. Then we finish off 7/9, 7/9. From there we go back into the chug, kind of work our way back up to this 9th fret octave, and then end with that main fill again. Then we're just riding that open E. We kind of fade out. Sounds like they start kind of improvising a little bit, doing the fill, little octave moves here. Just have fun with it at this point. So let's track out the transition between these 2 ideas that happened in the last main riff. So if you're checking out the tab, I'm going to start on measure 128. I'm going to play the next 7 measures. Just doesn't get any better than that. So thanks again. Hope this lesson really helped you out, and we'll see you in the next one.